Hello everyone, it's Andy of the local Chuds. I want to talk about a feature that I believe Steam absolutely needs to implement because of the current development with games. But first, a bit of a background and even some existing features that I really like compared to some other online game shops or platforms that sell apps and software, like Google, for example, with the recent release of Doom the Dark Ages and the comments on this guy that I'm showing right here. I'm simply missing some little adjustments to the current market. For context, if you don't know who that guy is, he is the CEO of Gearbox that's responsible for Borderlands 4. And recently he said on X how real fans, so the real fans, will find a way to fork out the money for him because others, because that's the only way to show how you truly are dedicated to this franchise. And I simply don't think that is the right way to approach things, because yes, if you really want something, you will find a way. But at the same time, I don't think that it should be normalized to have such prices, and it would help if it could be a bit moderated or a bit customized how things are displayed on Steam. A more detailed report on this can be found in the video from Vara Dark, where I took the screenshot from, since I was unable to find the post myself on X. Anyway, $80 for a game are becoming the new thing, and as someone who simply doesn't want to get along with that, I would like some more personalization to the wishlist feature to demonstrate. Let's add Doom right now. Just a second, I'm getting this out of the way. This is Doom, how it looks, and I already added it to the wish list. And now that it's on the list, I will first talk about the other features, and we will come back to this later, right? So first, Steam has already a feature that allows that a lot of the competition are missing, because Steam, as it's widely known, prioritizes the user, while other prioritize the corporations that are selling their programs on their respective platforms. Like, for example, if we go to the page of The Last of Us Part 2, The Last of Us was a really amazing game. I loved that game. I really did. I absolutely adored it, the vibe of the game, just walking through, and then the combat. I really, really wanted a continuation, and I really wanted to play part 2 as well. But at the time, I was like it's often, I was a bit tight, and I wanted to buy a new console, and so I waited to purchase it. And while I was waiting, I was exposed unintentionally to kind of spoilers and other things about what the game contains and how it is continued. And I lost my interest in it pretty soon. So what to do now, because it keeps popping up in my feed, right? So what we can do in Steam is not just to not just to put things on the wish list. I can simply ignore it. I set it to ignore, and from now on it's gone. The store will not show it to me again, and it's finished. right? And it's also that obviously the developers are informed that someone ignores their product, and it's available in the data, and they can probably, I don't know, but I assume that they can pull up a chart where they show how many are ignoring their product and who really doesn't want their games at all. So now I never have to suffer from the sadness of looking at the trailers and at the screenshots of The Last of Us Part 2 and feel the sadness that the publisher simply could not maintain the IP in a way that I find that speaks to me, that I find compelling to play and to watch, and that draws me in. But like I said, with the Steam feature to ignore it, I'm free of such suffering. And since blacklisting title in this manner will be recorded and stored as data that is available, like I mentioned before, it would be bad to blacklist something simply because you already have it, right? If you have something on your Game Boy and you don't want it to pop up all the time on your shop feed, then you might be compelled to block it, but you don't want to do it because it's already because you don't want to have a negative impression from the publisher or from the developer. But Steam has a solution for that as well. I'll demonstrate it with Baldur's Gate 3. There's this little button right here, right next to it. You can then mark it as that you already want it ignored, but that it's because you already played it on another platform. And then it will be gone from your platform, but the developer knows that you are a fan of their franchise and that it's not with a negative connection to it. So another nice little extra is in your store. If you go in the menu of your store and then select the preferences, you can see here you have the usual filter for major content, but it's not just one toggle that you have, but you have three, because sometimes or some people simply don't want to see nudity or other sexual themes, but they still want to see the goriest mess and want to create the goriest mess in a computer game. So they would not want to have that toggled off just because it's included in the made sure option. So Steam is pretty progressive on that front. I really like that. On other stores, it's often that you only have one adult button that you toggle in your selections, and then everything is included under that. It's gore and violence is on the same level as nudity, or some people don't want the opposite. They only want nude content, but they don't want violence because they can't see blood or whatever the reason or preference there is. It's their private decision. And for example, I myself grew tired of seeing early access titles and to be compelled to pre-order games, so I turned it off right here. Same with VR. I don't own a headset, so I don't need to have it advertised to me. And if I find out about a game like Pal World, I am still able to select it manually, to search within the store and to buy it directly from there without having it displayed somewhere in the shop advertised as early access, as an incomplete game. The same is possible with the tags here. Simply write down you don't want open world games, you don't want JRPGs, you don't want whatever it is you don't want if these tags exist. So having reached this far, one might wonder, if Steam is such an amazing tool already, what could I possibly want more? Right, and this brings us back to the wish list, which I will access now. And here we have the Doom, the Dark Ages. And as you can see, there are options here and you can customize it, right? You can have them sorted, what's displayed to you by discounts. You can have early access, pre-release, and VR blocked. You can sort by DLC games. So what else could there be? Or the price itself. My wish list isn't that extensive because I think some features are missing, and I'm not that heavy on having to purchase every game because I often go back to games and just play them as much as I want to and don't go on big shopping sprees, but that's just me, right? So, but as I said, these options are only to customize what is displayed here, and a wishlisted game will still appear as recommendations in the shop, so it will appear in your recommended lists, and you will have to deal with that. And I would like to have a list where I can tell the store to hide something from me until there is a specific requirement met. Now, what do I mean with that? Let's say Doom, for an example, I would like to select to hide this game from my store so I won't get it recommended, and I get a little note that reminds me of its existence once it's reached a certain requirement. Let's say until it's on 70% discount, or the price is lower than $30 or euros, right? And then if these thresholds are achieved, I would like it's already happening with the wish list, and they tell me here it is at a discount for the amount that you, or at least the amount that you wanted. How do you want to purchase this? Maybe or maybe not. And the benefits for that are pretty obvious, right? I don't have to actively overlook it, and I don't have to actively look the other way and have to ignore it, right? And I don't have to put it on the ignore list so that it won't be displayed at all, but it would also have a positive function for the publishing company and the developers. You see, the data that is collected and that would be collected by about the amount of people that would set a specific price at which they want to purchase the game, or they consider to purchase the game, that would be available to the publisher. They can offer discounts that are available for the customers based on the data that is collected, and not just oh, we will try this. And they will also see that if they have overcalculated, right, if they place their game at $100, like the price of the Dark Ages premium pack, right? You have 110 euros is the price for the game if you have the extra pack with the DLC content, which, by the way, for the price of 10 euro, it's included in other games. So they're really going overboard there. If they have multiple franchises and multiple game releases and they see that the customer is simply not buying the product at the price, then they have a better estimate what the players and the customers consider their games to be worth, no matter how much they invested into the game, because it's not the customer's fault if you overblow your budget and the quality does not reach the expected threshold that players have, and the expectations of players rise day by day. And you may say it's unreasonable. It's impossible to achieve that. It doesn't matter if the customer thinks that the value of your product is considerably lower than what it is, if the quality that is perceived that your product has, that is perceived by the customer, is bad, then the quality is not good enough. If you don't have the options, or if you focus on the wrong parts of the game, then and the customers as on large, right? The wide customer base, not one or two selected people that might not even buy the games because they received free copies to play them and review them. Their opinions don't really matter if you want to consider it for the future. What matters is the opinion of the wide audience of your customers, and they will determine the price. So if you had a feature where they can put a list on, I want to be reminded of this one game once it reaches $30, and then once, or some might pay $50 for it, or some might pay more or less. But if you have a vast amount of points on that graph, you have an average between, and you know where you can place the adjustment to your initial pricing. So, especially in an era where publishers seem to have lost their connection to their customers, this could help them to get some much needed sales. Also, if I download a game on any platform and it requires me to download another software in order to play it, I personally consider that a game-breaking bug, and I will definitely refund said game. Of course, I'm just a layman, so there might be some problems with implementing a feature that I described earlier that I'm not aware of, but that's still what I really would like to have. So that's pretty much it. I hope anyone who watched this enjoyed it, and if you agree, have to spread the word, so maybe Gabe Newell hears of it. With a bit of luck, he might even think that it's a good idea and finds a way to implement it. Bye.